Hi everyone, thank you so much for attending my webinar on Savanna and Dulini Game Reserve. I see I've got some new faces in here, which is great. We'll go through the two lodges. There is that chat section that if you've got any questions, then do put them in. I'll probably go to them largely at the end, or at least after Savanna and then after Dulini, so I can answer any questions, and hopefully I'll do it thoroughly enough, but I won't keep you too long. Aim to be finished by 4:30. So we will crack on with Savanna at the start. So just a sort of bit of background, I do Savanna and Dulini for their marketing, and that might seem a bit strange because they're competitors. But actually, what they did is formed a marketing alliance, and actually it works a lot better for us and for you because it's one-stop shop for you to ask me about both. But they can also support each other, swap sales. Both of them are incredibly high standard, all of the Dulini collection and Savanna. And then what that means is that you know that you can be assured of a standard throughout. You've got four lodges, all with slightly different feelings to them. Certainly a lot of difference between Savanna and Dulini, but you get sort of a bit more option, but yet knowing that you've got very high standards. So the more sort of different ones, you've got Savanna is a standalone lodge. So I'll go through Savanna Lodge first. So for those that are less don't know the area quite so well, au fait with the area of the Sabi Sands, we've got Kruger, and Sabi Sands is on the edge of the Greater Kruger National Park. And then the area that we're talking about here is called the Western Sector. Now you'll see Savanna in the south of the Western Sector, and then when we talk about Dulini, Dulini is up sort of like up in that river crossing. They're the three Dulinis of the Dulini collection. You've got three ways to access this Western Sector, either from Nelspruit, which is very easy, and it's about an hour and a half, hour and three-quarter transfer from Nelspruit, or Skakusa Airport. Again, you know, we can arrange the transport. Your ground handler arranges the transport, or they can fly into Ulusaba airstrip, and then it's a sort of 20-30 minute game drive to either Savanna or Dulini, and that's with Federal Air. So that is very easy as well. So lots of different options. They can also fly into Skakusa, and there's a connection that goes on to Ulusaba as well. So if they want to fly all the way, that is an option. So plenty of different ways and very easy to get into the Western Sector. So Savanna is made up of 9 suites, and it's over 3 room categories. So that's very good for you because it gives you a few options of what you can do. Now, the entry level, the way that I'm sort of selling Savanna to you and that you can sort of sell on, is the entry level luxury suites, as we call them, are extremely good value. I mean, it's sort of like a 4-star price for a 5-star experience for your guests. We then have, there are 4 of those. We then have 3 executive suites, and all of these have got plunge pools. All of the rooms have got plunge pools. And then in this sort of suite here on the right-hand side, we've got the Savanna suite, which is a 2-bedroom suite. We can sell them also as 2 separate executives as well, so that would give you the option of having 5 executives to sell. But the 2 bedrooms, when you sell it as one as a Savanna suite, it's the only place where we take children under the age of 8, because you have private chef and private guide, so we can sort of keep that the little ones away from the sort of like people who wish to stay away from the smaller children during their holiday. So starting with the Savanna suite, then you can see these 2 suites either side of 2 bedrooms, either side of the main sitting room, dining room area. And then this is one of the rooms, which has got the lovely, beautiful plunge pool. And then this is where we we can allow, as I said, children under the age of 8. And we're very good about doing sort of bush baby activities and keeping the children entertained. So whether it be building dams or catching frog spawn or looking at tracks and things like that. So it's very focused towards the children at that end, if that is what is required. And then moving on to the executive suites for Savanna, as you can see, they're beautiful. Now, one of the things about Savanna is that it's tented, apart from the Savanna suite. So this lovely tented effect, which is the solid walls, and then you've got the canvas roof over the top. So you get a much more authentic feeling about it. So you can hear the wind wind in the trees and hear the hyena. So it's a really lovely atmosphere and feeling, relaxed feeling at Savanna. And then, as I said, every single one has got its plunge pool as well. And then this is the luxury, the really well-priced luxury suite. It's all it is slightly smaller. You know, your square foot is smaller. Everything else, the bathrooms, you've got outside showers, everything else is absolutely amazing for the Savanna suite. So don't, for the luxury suite. So for those people that are more concerned about the experience that they have and the safari experience and the guides and the staff, rather than how big their rooms are, you really should consider Savanna, because that is really what the key part is about this lodge. The main lodge area, all of Savanna has been recently refurbished and updated. About 18 months ago, this was all completely refurbished, so it's looking lovely, new and sparkly and modernised. And there is so much to do and see at Savanna. So we love dining outside. Dining is a communal affair, so we love to get people together. So whether it be bush dining or whether it is private dining like this, or garden dining, there's always masses, lots of different variety at Savanna. The key really is about the game viewing. That is the most important part at Savanna, and you really, really do feel that. That they concentrate on the game. They have incredible guides, and the standard of guiding is very, very high. We also organise bushwalks, which people enjoy, whether it be a sort of a short sort of 1 hour, often 1 hour walk around the lodge. And it means that, you know, people get to get a little bit closer to nature and see some of the small things rather than just the sort of bigger animals as well. Our vehicles are, before I go on to Dulini, the vehicles at Savanna we only ever put 6 up onto a vehicle. They're specially custom made, beautiful Land Rovers, and they're six people only to a Land Rover, and everyone's got their own bucket seat, and we've got central consoles where you can put your hats and your gloves and your cameras and your accessories in there. So incredibly comfortable. Never put more than 6 on, unless you require a 7th, you know, because you've got 7 in the party and we can accommodate that. But Savanna is definitely about a group family feeling. I have more repeaters and referrals at Savanna than I do for any of my other clients. It's a place where people go back and back and back. It's well priced, and it's really well thought of, and it's got an excellent reputation. It's actually currently sitting at #1 on the dreaded TripAdvisor, and it's very interesting because actually, luckily, it seems to rally for first place position between, very conveniently for me, between Dulini Lodge and Savanna, for the Sabi Sands, the #1 place. So that's very convenient. So I'm lucky to have such lovely lodges in my portfolio. But going on to Dulini now, the Dulini collection, I'm sure you have all heard of it, but there's been quite a few changes to the Dulini collection over the last few years. But Dulini Lodge has been, all 3 of them were with And Beyond. Dulini Lodge came out of And Beyond about 5 years ago and was privately bought and is privately run for 3 or 4 years. Until then Ledwood and River Lodge, but then came out of And Beyond and joined Dulini and became the Dulini collection, which was sort of how it always was, but it is now under private ownership. And what I will be telling you about is the idea behind Dulini is that actually, as a collection, the standards and what each lodge offers is exactly the same. So you have your heated plunge pool, you have your amazing food, we've got one executive chef, that your standard of guiding, the same applies with Land Rovers. I will go through all of this, but you know, when you hear Dulini's collection, that you have sort of like an idea of what the collection is like. And then you decide from there which of the lodges you feel is the most suitable. But it wouldn't matter if they're in Ledwood or if they're in Dulini Lodge, they get exactly the same experience at all of them. There are just sort of some individual things which I will highlight to you about where they feel the most suitable lodge would be. So this map, we saw it before with Savanna, very similar map. In the way that that western sector you can see, and you come in through Skakusa or Nelsborough or indeed through Ulasaba Federal Air again. But marked on the map, you saw Savanna down at the bottom here, and you've got Dulini. The lovely thing about the western sector is 10,000 hectares of traversing, and you get great variety between the sort of riverine sort of area up where Ledwood and River Lodge and Dulini are, and then further south in Savanna, funnily enough, it's Savanna, and it's open, and it's sort of like wider open plain, so you see the different variety of games, but you traverse all over that same sector. Whether you're at Dulini or Savanna, we've got strict rules that only you can have two vehicles to a viewing at one time. So you never feel overcrowded, and yet you get to go and see all four corners of that area and see the variety that they have got there. So the collection itself, the three lodges, Dulini Lodge, Ledwood Lodge and River Lodge. So as I said, you've got your 16 suites over 3 lodges. All of them have got a river setting, so that's the theme that runs through them. Dulini is a dry riverbed. Ledwood is part of the dry river bed, which is Mabrac, or it's seasonal, so it does run, but only for a couple of months of the year. And then you've got the Sand River, which runs past Ledwood and also River Lodge. So you get lovely variety between them, amazing views, and then things that you would totally expect from a 5-star lodge, like you obviously get your complimentary Wi-Fi and laundry service, and it is fully inclusive. Vehicles. So we have got same as I described at Savanna. So you can see the standards here. So exactly the same. Where you get bucket seats in the central consoles, and then you make sure that we've got camera mounts and binoculars for all of the guests. So really high standards and very comfortable for your guests. It is all about the safari experience, whether you're talking about Savanna or Dulini, it is all about seeing the game. We do include all the bushwalks, sundowners and everything that you would expect from your safari, it is fun getting down and actually seeing things from a different level when we're doing the bushwalks. But I don't need to also tell you all about how amazing the game viewing is in the Sabi Sands. It really is second to none, and whilst we're not allowed to put it in writing and absolutely guarantee it, guests generally will always see the big 5 in the first 2 or 3 days. So there's masses. I have never been there and not seen the big 5. There's masses to see, it's always so rewarding and great for guests who are really going for that sort of like game viewing experience, where they really get to see all of the animal species, whether they be big or small. So going on to the hospitality of the hospitality at Dulini, we have personal butler service for everybody. The staff ratio is incredibly high to guests, and it's how they interact with the guests. It's no good just having lots of staff if they're not brilliant at what they do, and it is how they all interact with them. We also take the sort of food and beverage incredibly seriously, and as I've said before, we have executive chef called Altus who looks after all of them. But we have got all of the sort of drinks is included at Savanna and Dulini, but also at both places we have a wine cellar if anyone wants to go in and select premium wines, which are at a sort of greater amount, is an added extra if people want the premium brands, but otherwise it is all included. The dining is a feast for your eyes. We do a lot more private dining at Dulini compared to Savanna, where Savanna is a bit more, as I said, about the communal dining. At Dulini, it is a bit more about private dining, and it is very much fine dining. The food, not only the quality and the taste is sensational, but actually the presentation is second to none at Dulini, and never fails to impress. The sort of different variety of salads and main courses, and how, as I said, how it's presented and the variety of it, it is incredible what they can produce in the bush. And again, like Savanna, we love to dine in lots of different places. I mean, this is an example at River Lodge, where you can see the river sort of running there, but underneath the sausage tree, and then maybe private dining on the decks. It doesn't matter whether you're at Dulini, Savanna or Ledwood. We make sure that there is plenty of variety involved. The additional things, which is good to know, we have a wellness centre and gyms. We've got gyms at Dulini and at nearly forgetting, River Lodge. And then we have also got, so if anyone at Ledwood wants to go to the gym, then we just, it's very easy just to take them half a kilometre over there. We offer massages and treatments, either in the suites or on the decks, and at River Lodge we also have a sort of a wellness centre there that we can do some massages on, and we also take our social responsibility very very seriously. So both at Savanna and Dulini, so there are lots of programmes and projects that people like to know about or get a bit more involved with. That's always interesting. At Savanna and Dulini, we subscribe to something called Safe Tea, which is a paramedic, which is just 15 minutes away based at Singita, and it means that for your peace of mind, if your clients are a bit nervous about something, or maybe they think they've got an infected cut from a previous place or something like that, we can call in the paramedic without having to sort of medevac them out. It does get used an awful lot with people just for reassurance, so it's good to know that is there. So going on to the individual lodges, we have got Dulini Lodge. Dulini Lodge is 6 weeks, and it's got this sort of beautiful setting in on the Mabrak River. And as I said, it's a seasonal river, so it does actually run only for a couple of months of the year. But it's really beautiful. It's very tranquil, Dulini. It's got a lovely, lovely setting. These are some of the room shots here. So you've got a separate little sitting room area, and then you've also got a bedroom area as well, and then that's looking out to the deck area, and then bathrooms, shots of some of the bathrooms, and then then there is the heated plunge pool. So you've got heated plunge pools in all of the 16 suites. And just excuse me 1 minute. My dog is squeaking at me to be let out. Hold on. I was never going to concentrate if I didn't do that, because I could hear her down here and it was putting me off. So, okay, we'll start again. So all the hit plunge pools at Dulini are heated. So that's a lovely luxury for everybody. But as you can see at Dulini, beautifully interior designed. One of the key things about Dulini Lodge itself is the gardens, because as I said, it's very tranquil, it's very beautiful, it's very calm, and all the animals, there's one strand of wire that goes around the outside, so it stops the sort of big beasties coming in from the elephant and the buffalo or the bad boys there, but it lets everything else in. For that reason, we do escort people to their rooms at night in case of lions or leopards. But it does mean that the antelope feel very safe there, and so when you're dining, you find the bush butterwall running around, and the nyala sort of doing their funny little dance, and you sit and be entertained whilst you're having your lunch or your dinner. So it's a beautiful spot to be in, very calming, and that's probably why Dulini shares its #1 spot with Savanna. It's got a wonderful reputation, and we're very lucky to have it. And then we go on to the lovely Ledwood Lodge. Now, Ledwood Lodge is only 4 rooms. It's much more exclusive for that reason, but the standard of everything is exactly the same. But there's only 4 rather than the 6 rooms. As I said, it's on the corner of the Sand River and the Sand and the Mabrak River, the Sand being the flowing river, and so it's got lovely sort of variety within it. The size of the rooms are absolutely huge, and the size of the plunge pools. So again, that feeling sort of opulent, and the difference, as I said, those people that really, it's not all about your room on safari, and it's then a Savanna would be more suitable. The price is slightly less, but the people that love this beautiful, stunning room, to lie out by the room, spend time in it, have private dining in it, the huge plunge pool, then Ledwood is the sort of more the more luxurious options. So it just depends where their budget is and you know what they're looking for. So recently upgraded. So all of the Dulinis have been upgraded within the last 18 months. Ledwood was finished last November, and River Lodge was reopened after a massive refurbishment about a year ago. So lots of changes. Big separate sitting room for the Ledwood Lodge here, which you can see, all recently been redone, and beautiful beds and lovely soft furnishings, beautiful showers, outside showers, inside showers. I mean, all of Savanna and Dulini, all of the lodges, all the rooms have got outside showers and inside showers and baths. So beautiful views across the river that you can see here. So lots of private dining, and then this is the sort of sitting room lounge area, and then Boma dining. We always provide Boma dining, try and get guests to have one night Boma dining, because it's so much fun, and then eat the traditional food, and then some of the staff and come in and do some sort of singing and dancing, which is always really well received. And then finally we come to River Lodge, which is the most sort of recently, or it's had the biggest sort of facelift out of all of them. So your USP for River Lodge is really this fantastic view. It is absolutely breathtaking, looking all the way down the San River. So whereas Dulini is more intimate and garden setting and tranquil, River Lodge is much more about those open views. So you can go and look out over the other side of the river and then watch the elephant cross the river. And it can be intimate because they come up close, but also, you know, you can sort of you've got a bigger view than you do at Dulini. I'm going to sneeze though. It's gone. So this is River Lodge. So really excited about River Lodge because there are, you know, it has changed. I don't know if any of you have been to River Lodge before, but it has changed beyond all recognition of what it was this time before it opened this time last year. So it's all about, the focus is all about the river and this beautiful sort of like vista that we've got before us. The interior design is incredible. You feel very special just being in there. I often sort of think, gosh, I could take that idea and could I take that home and buy it in the gift shop. They've each of them got there's a gift shop at Dulini and at River Lodge and at Savanna as well. So lots of opportunities to buy some of those beautiful things they've got there. But they can make it cozy and smaller as well. So we've got fires, and that's the other view, looking the other way for that lovely big sausage tree, which is at River Lodge that we saw just before. And then you can see River Lodge much more open plan. So it's the most sort of like contemporary. So I think the sort of younger, sort of, you know, really great for honeymooners, more contemporary look, but without being ultra modern. And it's more open plan feeling about it, whereas Dulini is a more traditional look, certainly not old fashioned, but a more traditional sort of feel about me, maybe a little bit more cozy, whereas the River Lodge takes advantage of all the lights and the openness there. And then we've got sort of shots of the outside showers and bathrooms here, and then of course sort of plenty of areas to relax for, you know, because it's not all about safari, and you can see here, you know, the clients that might want a bit more relaxation time, then they can choose the sort of like a River Lodge or a Dulini. But the people that really want to focus on the safari side, and that the important thing isn't quite so much, they are most beautiful rooms at Savanna, but they're just haven't got the sort of huge, the big square footage that you get at Dulini, but the value for money is probably goes a bit further. So it all depends. You've got lots there to sort of go on, and whilst they're all sort of 5-star lodges, and they all of them offer a 5-star service, you get enough difference between certainly between Savanna and Dulini to sort of suit most of your guests, but also a little bit of difference between the 3 Dulinis, depending on what their focus is, young honeymooners or slightly older couples. So there's lots of sort of to be going on there where you can make a choice. So that's the end of my presentation. Pretty much on the half hour, so I'm doing pretty well on the timings. Does anyone have any questions to put into the chat box before we do this. I will be sending out a recording of this video so that if you couldn't manage to hear all of it, then you know, I can send it out to you. You can share it with colleagues. If any of you have got any questions, then you can email me at lucinda@farhorizonsmarketing.com. As I'm not seeing any questions being typed in, thank you, Isabel, for that. Yeah, so you know where to get a hold of me if you suddenly think of more questions, and you've got to, you know, get your rates through your brand handler. If anyone wants to see rack rates, I'm very happy to send them to you. Have a lovely rest of the day. Thanks very much. Bye.